LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Tyler Hero, DeAndre Hunter, Keldon Johnson, John Morant, Michael Porter Jr., Zion Williamson, James Wiseman. Michael Mulder. There's no way they did this to us 2 years in a row. Let me see something real quick. NBA.com's updated rookie ladder, March 3rd, 2021. LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Halliburton, man. And then Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman. But Anthony Edwards and James Wiseman made it this year. But the rookie board says Immanuel Quickley. And Michael Mulder made it too. No disrespect to Michael Mulder, but yeah. So the year after the NBA openly disrespects RJ Barrett, who had a very solid rookie season. They didn't even put him on any of the all rookie teams. I know that's something that I'm still holding a grudge about, but it still pisses me off to this day. The NBA decided to still show who they would put in the Rising Stars game. And we know that it's Team USA versus Team World. And although, as you saw, Immanuel Quickley is in the top 5 for in the rookie ladder. Players that he is far ahead of are still in this Team USA team, and not him. This is why we gotta get rid of the Team USA, Team World. Look at this team that my boy RJ Barrett has to deal with. I will give you Precious. I'll give you Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I'll give you Brandon Clark. Hell, I guess I'll give you Rui and Denny. But outside of that, RJ Barrett is clearly by far the best player on this team. And then the second best player, I don't even know who to first look at to see whose stats come close to where RJ Barrett is this year. We got to get rid of this. It was fun at first because of the Luka stuff and all this, that, and the third. But since then, the Team World just goes out there and gets destroyed by Team USA. Luckily, there's no game this year, but this makes no sense to me. Bring back the rookie sophomore game. To be honest, I'm looking at Team USA and there's nobody I would take off of this list. You know, even though I understand Immanuel Quickley is ahead of guys like Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, I'm not taking them off the list because they are still having solid seasons in their rookie year. I know people are talking to me about Keldon Johnson, but Keldon Johnson is playing really good basketball this year. Here's the thing. Keldon Johnson's a sophomore. We wouldn't have this problem if Keldon Johnson, DeAndre Hunter, Tyler Hero, Michael Porter Jr., Zion Williamson, John Morant, they all were on their own team, and then you could put the rookies together because then Denny would still be able to play, okay? We would get the combination of RJ Barrett and Zion Williamson back together. The NBA fumbled the bag, and I hope that this is the year that they see that this Rising Stars World versus USA thing is trash. Disrespect. That ruined my whole mood for this video, man. That ruined my entire mood. Run the intro. What's going on, CK Crew? It's your boy CK2 here, and welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Do not forget to like this video. Guys, we have our last game before the All-Star break tonight against the Detroit Pistons. A must-win game because we dropped that game against the San Antonio Spurs. Then we didn't drop it. We fumbled the game against the San Antonio Spurs because, Lord have mercy, that third quarter destroyed us, and then they just kept punching and kept pushing and kept making us feel even worse in that fourth quarter. But that game's in the past. We haven't had many of those games this year, so I'm not really too upset about it. It happened. We move on, but we need to win this must-win game in the Garden against the Detroit Pistons tonight so we can go into the break 19-18 over 500 so we can be ready for the gauntlet that is the second half of this NBA season. But with that coming up and with us Knicks fans being excited about that, that of course is not the thing that's on everyone's mind in the media. Everyone is talking about this, that, and the third. Now that the Knicks are P-word team, not ready to say it yet, but now that the Knicks are in the mix for the P-word, everyone is ready to just throw all kinds of rumors around the New York Knicks because that's just how it goes. And this is where we get ourselves in trouble is, you know, a lot of us Knicks fans will get excited and will bite into these rumors and stuff like that. And I just want you guys to just temper yourself going into some of these rumors because Brian Windhorst fired out one of the biggest rumors of them all yesterday, talking about saying that, you know, within the next 12 months or 2 years or so, whatever the case may be, expect a superstar to demand a trade on its way over to the New York Knicks. Actually, his exact quote was this: "I say within the next 12 months, a star/superstar player demands a trade to New York. And I don't know who it's going to be. I have some guesses. I'm not going to say right here. I'll let you guys start thinking about that. Let's just put it this way. League executives certainly have some guesses, and I say by next year's trade deadline, a player, a superstar, all-star player, tries to force his way there." Now, this is how it starts. This is how it starts. Do you remember the beginning days of the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving rumors to go to the... Matter of fact, it wasn't even... Kyrie Irving wasn't even a part. That's not true. Kyrie Irving was the original part of the whole Knicks going to have a big splash in the free agency. Now, mind you, I understand two different teams. At that time, the Knicks were not a good team, hoping to land these all of a sudden superstars and all of a sudden be good team. Now the Knicks are having a good season, whether we do make the people or not. This year the Knicks are having a good season to the point where, yes, the infrastructure of the team is more attractive for players to want to come during free agency or want to try and force their way to be traded over here. So yes, I understand the bait is more enticing for it, but I'm still not biting. I'm not going to bite. This has bait written all over it, so then when it doesn't happen, then once again we can be put up on the top of the ESPN post to be pointed and laughed at, because that's just what they like to do with us. That's just what they like to do. And now that the Knicks are somewhat decent in the eyes of ESPN, now that we are the talking stick all over again. The Brooklyn Nets are on their way to being the number one team in the Eastern Conference, even though Philly is playing phenomenal basketball right now. But they're right around the corner from becoming the first place team. And I'm seeing glimpses and little, talks here and there about their highlights and everything like that. But when you search, all the headlines are talking about the Knicks have a superstar on the way. Could the Knicks reunite Tom Thibodeau and Karl Anthony Towns? Is Julius Randle the guy of the future? Like, everything is Knicks based in the media, because the talk of the town will forever and always be the New York Knicks. We're barely about to be a game over, or hopefully about to be a game over 500. Right now, we're barely at 500. And because we're in a good place in the Eastern Conference, now all of a sudden we're gonna be talked about all over again. Imagine if the tables would turn. Imagine if we were up there in the top 3. Like, people would be already dubbing us NBA champions out there in the media, or they would be pinning that on us, saying that Knicks fans are dubbing the Knicks to be a championship contending team. We gotta be careful with the smoke screens and with all the bait that's gonna be scattered around with these next few months, because that's just the way it happens, especially if we do make it into the postseason. But anyways, all that being said, we did sticking with, I'm pulling the reverse. They talk about us, and now here I am talking about all of them. I don't watch. I mean, from time to time, if I see the Knicks come up on my YouTube page and it's them talking about it, I will skim through the video to hear what kind of nonsense they have. Hence the Jay Williams quote that we've all been talking about, where he was talking about Austin Rivers playing really well for us last week, and Austin Rivers has not played a game for us in almost a month and some change. So I'll do that from time to time to see the nonsense they spew, because I know whenever you have Knicks in the title, I know what the videos can consist of. The Knicks are actually good. The Knicks are playing solid this year, but whose fault is it? Will it keep up? This, that. It's never really a solidified thing where they're going to give us props. It's going to be a backhanded compliment with some negativity to follow behind it. That being said, now I'm seeing some of the moves that there are being expected, and the two names that were thrown around were Luka Doncic and Devin Booker. Those are two names that were thrown around to be the possible names that are going to be linked to the New York Knicks. My thought process was, I mean, I've been wanting Devin Booker to come to the Knicks, but Devin Booker right now and the Suns are probably in one of the best situations they've been in a long time. An amazing head coach, a great group of guys on there that, are playing very unselfish. I'm not saying they're a championship contending team, but he's in a very good spot now that, I don't know why he's going to be leaving that situation. Maybe next year. I don't know. I just don't see it. And then Luka Doncic, that one's a little bit, that one's a little bit closer to being true, but at the same time, I don't ever believe Mark Cuban is going to just allow him to go away and trade him away. I think if that happens, that's going to be a free agency move more so than a trade. So those are the rumors that they're trying to put out there. I'm not going to go into specifics of what they're saying. They're thinking that this might be it might be Luka, it might be Devin Booker, this, that, and third. And then now I understand the comparisons and implications around Devin Booker. Kentucky, same agent as RJ Barrett, rah, 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 rah. I mean, Devin Booker was one of the big guys that Leon Rose had at the time with CAA. I get it. I understand that. I get all those things, but at the same time, to me, I still think it's a bit of a reach. And if it happens, it happens. I'm just not buying it right now. But I do think there is a close correlation between this report and the report earlier on about Karl-Anthony Towns joining back up with Tom Thibodeau, because I do think that there is some truth in that statement. I think that there's something there. I just don't know what package the Knicks have to make that ultimately happen. I do believe, though, that there is something there that could potentially happen with the Karl-Anthony Towns move back to the New York Knicks, or something, or not back, or to the New York Knicks, back with Tom Thibodeau. I think that there's something there. I just don't know how it would happen, what would be put in place. I know you guys are going to be sending me all your trade things, whatever you think it may be. I do think that there is some bit of spark there, that is some sort of realism there compared to the other moves that are being talked about. I know you could throw in there Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, but those aren't superstar. Bradley Beal maybe, but those aren't superstar level players. But I don't know. I'm just not biting on this bait. I cannot bite on this bait, because to me, I just feel like the minute the Knicks do anything out of the ordinary, you have to put something on it. So then when, or if, let me take when out of that. So if the Knicks do so happen to just slip up slightly, then it gives them the ammunition, as if they were never the ones to plant the seed to then go in and trash the New York Knicks. So I'm not biting on this. I do think that the Knicks, and I've been saying this, the Knicks are putting themselves in a better position for free agency. Not so much for the trades and stuff like that. I do think for free agency, more teams will be actually taking the call and will be taking the offer serious when it comes to coming to New York Knicks. That's why I do believe, even though I think Kawhi is ultimately going to stay with the Clippers, I do think the Knicks stand a chance at possibly taking Kawhi Leonard in free agency this year if he still does not sign an extension with this team, and if the Clippers don't do anything in the postseason. I do strongly believe, but this is something we're going to talk about later on in the year. I think it's too soon to talk about that yet, because why would he leave the Los Angeles Clippers? He's back home, this, that, and the third. He's back home. He has a solid team over there with Los Angeles. I just don't know if the fit with Tyronn Lue is enough. I don't know if the combination of players that they have is going to be enough to send him over the edge, so maybe that'll help him come over. But I do think that there's something there where there's a potential that we could possibly steal Kawhi Leonard away in the offseason this season. But we'll talk about that later on when the season's over. But other than that, my thought process is more so on the free agency pool than any trades. I just don't think we have enough capital to make any of these moves that will not gut us in the long run to do any of it. I just don't think, making a trade for Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be beneficial for us, because if you trade him for Karl-Anthony Towns, you're going to have to give up either RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, or two of those three names, along with some draft picks, along with some other stuff to get a Karl-Anthony Towns, and then you leave us with a gutted team. So and then instantly we turn into a good, well-grown organization to a win now team, and I don't know if that's necessarily what we want. I'm just not buying in on the whole trade rumor stuff, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think that Brian Windhorst is talking about? Are you buying in on these rumors? Are you playing along with these rumors? Me, I'm not playing along, but with the exception of Karl-Anthony Towns, I think that there are something there between that report and the Tom Thibodeau report. I just feel like there's some kind of truth along those lines there, but we'll see what happens in the coming months. And like I said, keep your eye on Kawhi Leonard and Los Angeles Clippers. Even the Clippers are playing phenomenal basketball right now. Let's see what happens again in the playoffs, and we'll talk about that later. Anyways, happy birthday to Obi Toppin. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about everything mentioned in today's video. Let's go Knicks. We got our game tonight against the Detroit Pistons. Let's come out here with a win. And you guys know the deal. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Do not forget to like this video. Are you buying the rumors? Do you believe a superstar is on the way via trade? Do you think it's going to happen? Let me know your thoughts and comments about everything mentioned in the video. It's been your boy CK. Let's get it. Let's go Knicks. Get this win tonight, going to the break on a positive note, and then we can root for our boy Obi Toppin in the All-Star Slam Dunk Contest, Julius Randle in the Skills Challenge, and Julius Randle in the All-Star Game. We here to All-Star Weekend. We got some stuff to watch, okay? It's your boy CK. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out of here, and peace.
Feeling like I won the lotto. Always taking trips with a new chick, asking where the time goes. And I wonder if this is all on